Hello, welcome back to Mart's garage. Here's the coupe all jacked up. I've been away for a few days, almost a week, and had a nice little bit of time off. So I've come back to the coupe, and when I came back, a package had arrived. Anyway, this package was on the doorstep when I got home. There's 4 brake cylinders, but they're all fronts, because I thought I'd get 2 and then have a couple for spares. And there's 4 rebuild kits for the rear cylinders. They've been inspected. I'm just trying to think the best way to do these wheel cylinders here. I think I'll undo them and then thread the new cylinder onto the pipe and then bolt it on, and then slacken it there in case there's any twist that's gone into it that I don't want, rather than completely, having everything completely dismantled. Just pulled one of the wheel cylinders apart just to have a visual inspection. I just wanted to check that everything was clean, and it does appear clean. The bores look okay, and the point of the exit of the drillings looks okay. So I'm going to reassemble. I'll take that plug out and just make sure there's nothing down there. Yeah, that looks okay. They do appear a bit dry. They haven't been assembled with much in the way of grease. So I'll just put a bit of that red rubber compatible grease on and put it back together. Okay, and it came with a washer, which was good. I've undone the cylinder and I managed to crack off the hose. The hose is 14 millimeters, which is slightly smaller than 9/16, so a 9/16 was trying to spin on it. So let's get that off then and get the new one on. I cracked the fitting off before I unbolted it. I took the top 2 bolts out and then cracked the fitting. I think that might be okay actually. Put a little bit of grease on these bolts and then put these in as well. That's okay. It's not all twisted up. I thought to myself, well, what's the best bet? A freshly made one from probably a pretty high-tech factory in China, or some possibly 30 or 40-year-old ones that were made in a small factory in Argentina. I decided to just buy some new ones. piece price, not very expensive, but by the time you get them here, they can be, you know, it's not exactly a cheap item. But I did buy 4, so I've got 2 spares now, because I'm thinking all of my cars use these cylinders. You know, the truck, the sedan, the roadster. I mean, the roadster, phew, yeah, who's to say that ain't going to need a new cylinder? Okay, good. Right, let's, yeah, there's the old one. Would go again, but you know, with the price of the new ones, it's probably not worth bothering. Okay, well, that hose hasn't got a kink in it, so that's okay. I'll get the other side up to the same state, you know, get the cylinder on, clean it, grease it, get the cylinder on, and then I'll address the brakes, and I'll bring you back when I start doing something different than just changing the cylinder. Okay, back in a bit. Bit of life left in them yet. The amount of miles I do, I don't tend to wear them out. Hose is okay, not twisted up. I want to, you know, check all the wheel bearings and things before I put them back on. But I'll deal with the back brakes first. Work out exactly what I'm going to do there. Okay, back in a bit. Apart from the seal kit, I've got some of those cylinders that were incorrectly assembled, drilled rather. So they will have new pistons in, so I actually might not use the seal kits. I might use all the guts out of one of those cylinders that were incorrectly drilled. So I'll give this a clean, and I'll hone it, re-oil it, rather lube it up and reassemble it. Don't know if you can see where the drilling comes through. It comes through just this side of the step in the bore. Some of the cylinders, the drilling's like a 1/4 inch higher than that. I'll go and find my honing tool, see if I can clean it up a bit. Give it a good wash. Hello. I've cleaned up the cylinder for the left hand side. The bore's not too bad. It'll do. I wasn't able to find my honing tool, but I found a wire brush, like a rotary one, that went up inside, and I cleaned it with that. And I cleaned it with a bit of wet and dry, very fine, because it's big enough to get your thumb up there. In this bag are the guts of these two wheel cylinders that I dismantled the other day. These are the ones that are drilled wrong. Can you see the... well, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a difference in the angle of the drilling. It goes in too steeply in that direction, so it comes out too far up the bore. Can you see where that is? Up the bore. See where that one is up the bore? This is flash rusting already. So I'll get this lubed up and get the parts from these cylinders, which are scrap, into here. Okay, so there we are. That can go back on the car. Don't mind just leaving a bit of grease around it generally. I'll get that assembled back on then. Okay, I don't know if you realise what I just did then, but I left the cylinder loose like that while I started the pipe in it, because I did notice that the pipe was quite tight to undo. So I wanted to, if you have the pipe very tight, so if you have the cylinder tight and the pipe's all clamped up down the length of the wishbone, it's sometimes hard to get them to start. But because I got free movement of the cylinder, I was able to get it to start then. Okay, righto, jolly good. I think it might be an idea to do the brake pipe up. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? That'd be alright. 10mm that is. Okay. But anyway, nonetheless, that's, as far as the brakes go, that should be okay. I might not have had to take that off. I'll try and do the other side without taking it off. I was thinking I might work on it in situ. There's no massive advantage to that anyway. Okay, one more wheel to do then. Okay, I'll go and do to this cylinder what I did to the other cylinder. When I'm finished, I'll come back. Okay, back in a bit. Hello, I took the axle keys out. That one there looked rather badly kind of indented in the side, so I didn't want to use that one again. That one there is one I found, which is just as bad. That one's... no, that's not too good, is it? That one's not... I think that one's not... Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not happy with him. I found one new one, but I've just had to file it. It was just a piece of 1/4 inch stock, really. So I've just filed that edge on it. Now my understanding is that goes in towards the axle inside. So I've got one. The one that I was looking at that had the taper has a taper on the other end, so I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it is rather badly indented there. That one's not so bad. Bit on that side, but yeah. I think I'll use this one because it's not so bad, but I'll put it so that this is the driving side. Yeah, I'll put it so this is the driving side. So that means it will have to be on the right hand side of the car, with that towards the axle. Then I'll put this one on the left hand side. But I think I'll file that a bit there. Just give it a bit more of a taper there. So I'll use that one and that one. And what I'll probably do, I'll probably order some 1/4 inch key steel, so I've got, next time the job comes up, or next time I have the rear hubs off, I can put a new one on there as well. And obviously the fact that I've recorded it means that I've got a record of which one's which. I'll just go and file that a little bit, then I'll get them both fitted. You saw me fit that side there, and you saw me take the cylinder off this side. I've now re-sealed it and refitted it, so that, and refitted everything else. So that's, this side's ready to go. That's why I've turned my attention to the keyways and things. I'll clean all the oil and grease off the mating surfaces. I don't think this side was mating very well. Okay, righto. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. I prepared that keyway in the way that I said. I filed it a little bit more, put them both in, cleaned all the tapers so there's no oil anywhere, and put both the drums on. So I'm going to leave it at that. I've had a good little session today. Oh, I haven't done that one, have I? Oh well, never mind. I've done what I intended to do. I've done all the brake cylinders, so that's good, and I've got the back brakes back together. Okay, I'm going to call it good at that for today. I'll be back tomorrow and do a bit more, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Cheers then, bye. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. It's a nice day today, Sunday. But I'm in here working on the coupe. Yesterday I put the rear drums on and I forgot that I had to reassemble the front brakes. So I've just reassembled these front brakes. I put a different shoe on the front there. A long shoe. Long on the front, short on the back. Big, big, small, small. Yeah, so before I put the drum on, I thought I'd just show you those. It's always a bit of a fiddle getting these in place, but I managed to do it. I need to adjust the brakes. These are adjusted so that they're all the way in. So I think this one wants to go that way to bring this down, and this one wants to go that way to bring that one down. The eccentrics I'm talking about. So I'm going to just drop the bearings out, the front bearing, grease it, and just make sure there's plenty of grease on the rear bearing as well, and then put it back together. Okay, so I'll bring it back when there's more to show. There's no need to see me doing that, I don't think. Hello. I've put the drums on, I've adjusted the bearings, I've greased the bearings, inspected the bearings, well, the outer bearings, I didn't look at the inners, and I've just bled the brakes. I'd already bled them before I did this job because I changed the master cylinder, so it was relatively simple just to bleed the little bit of air through from each one. I think the pedal's okay. So now I'm going to put the wheels on and put it back down on the ground. Then, while it's still nice, I might go for a little ride and go and get some fuel, which is what I intended to do the first time I drove it. Always good to get some fresh fuel. Okay, I will bring it back when there's more to show. Let's try and get the old coupe started and take it and go and get some fuel. I've finished repairing the brakes. Hopefully it'll start and run and get to the fuel station okay. Righto, let's see if it'll go. So here we are, we're out in the 33 coupe, 33 5-window coupe. I bought this 12 years ago and spent 3 months fixing it up. It was before I was doing videos. Well, the brakes feel okay. late 50s before I bought it. I bought it off a chap that lives in New Jersey. He got all the paperwork for it, you know, new title and everything, so I was able to export it. I had my GMC pickup at the time. I hired a trailer and went down to Chatham Docks, which is quite a long drive from here, and towed it back. The engine was completely and utterly seized solid. Brakes feel good actually, I'm quite impressed. The engine was completely seized solid, but I still salvaged some parts from it, you know, like flywheel, clutch, 10-inch clutch, distributor. And I had a 21 stud engine that was just sitting under the bench. So I put that in. I did all the kingpins, brakes, wheel cylinders. What else do you do? You know, shackles, everything. And it took me 3 months to get it on the road. Oh, this fuel station's closed, isn't it? Okay, I'll go to a different one. Forgot about that, this one's shut. Yeah, so at that time you had to MOT the car to get it on the road, and I took it for an MOT, got it tested, and I've got a little bit of footage from the MOT, taken to the MOT. It's a short video, but I'll just put it in here, some clips from that video in here. So that was its first MOT test, and only, I think first and only MOT. Because after that, it became that you didn't have to MOT it. I looked at my correspondence and it was 2012 when I bought the car. axle, but with 39 type brakes, but using the original drums, which isn't a combo that's supposed to work really. the drums aren't really wide enough. But I shaved a little bit off the shoes. Which I showed in a recent video. This is the 239 crusty flatty. The first sort of flathead resurrection I did. It was very, very rusty, had to be linered. Oh, bloody hell, what's all this? Anything interesting? Playlist is the crusty flatty playlist. That was the rebuilding of this engine. And it goes okay, you know, it's a 59A. No, it's not. It's a 99 Mercury engine. Ex-military, I would imagine, you know, in this country. Keeps up with modern traffic, you know, it's got a good strong pull. Busy down this way. I never normally come this way. The car's still got a lot of dust on it. I wouldn't have enough fuel, especially with having to come back this way. But I've got some in the can down here. Let's get a bit of motion lotion. Filler is on this side. Okay. Right, back in a bit. Okay, job done. £42. 26 litres. A young lad just come over and said, could he take a photo? I said, yeah, you can do better than that now. You can look up Mart's Garage on YouTube. Spots of rain on the screen. Typical. Just give it a little run up and down the main drag anyway, just to, you know, blow the cobwebs off. Not very keen, is it? Just turning it on and off. along this road with this engine, it sort of momentarily seized. I was driving along here, and if I can find it, I'll cut in the little clip where you can hear the tyres chirp, somewhere along here. And I pulled into the pub at the end because I didn't know what had happened. And then I had a phone call and I chatted to my son for a few minutes. I thought I'd run out of fuel thinking about it. I chatted to my son for a few minutes, and then I went back to the car and it started up and drove again. And I realised afterwards it had done like a micro seize. Just nipped momentarily. Because it was the first time I'd driven it, the engine, you know, after it had been reborn. So I'm self-taught, I don't know anything about the job. I just bored it out and put it together. And I think I might have been a little bit tight on one of the cylinders or something. Not quite enough clearance. So I just drove it very, very gently after that. You know, for a while until it kind of got into the swing of things. It's been alright ever since. Just up here, quite randomly, there's a post box, pillar box, post box. I'll see if I can show you. See that in front of us? Post office. See that in front of us? It's a Victorian fluted pillar box. I'll have to go and check, but it's one of about 6 in use in the country that are still in use, Victorian. Website that describes them, where they're all located. There's about 14 or 12 in existence and 6 still in use, and that's one of them. Okay, the car's running well. We've got fuel. We haven't run out of fuel. Haven't had any other problems. The brakes are good, really good actually. I'll see you back at the house. Try it with the ignition, Mark. That noise when it's in neutral, listen. Stop with the clutch down, and then there's a noise. Not so bad actually when you let the clutch up. Okay, right. Hope that all came out. Turn the ignition off. There we go. There she is. Good old reliable car. Other than the brakes failing and it refusing to start the other day, but other than that, reliable. Spilt a bit of fuel, look. Serves me right for doing enthusiastic cornering with a full tank. Okay. I'm going to leave that plate like that because every time I bend it backwards and forwards it's stressing it up. Yeah, that's already split there. So I'll leave it like that. I quite like it with it following the contours of the back of the car. Righto. Yeah, it's running good. Needs a bit of a wash. Yeah, needs a bit of a wash. Okay, good. I have featured the coupe in more recent years. I just didn't feature the building of it. So that was, other than the little trip around the block the other day where I decided I wasn't happy with the brakes and I came back. That's its first proper run since, I'm not sure when, but I'll flash it up on the screen now. I'll go and have a look at previous videos and find out when I last drove it. So yeah, it's running good, okay. So there we are, March 33 coupe back on the road. So I'm hoping that well, let's think about it. I've got the Thunderbird, the 100e, the coupe and the sedan on the road and the 41 pickup out the front. So yeah, I'm well catered for cars this year. And I think it's good to get them out and running. I mean, it's done this car good just driving around there. Done me good as well, to be honest. I enjoyed driving it. Okay. Thanks very much for joining me in the garage. Take care of yourselves and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye.